Hey, welcome to Talking 360. I'm Tony Scott. With me is actress, musician, singer, producer, mom, daughter, Christian. She's Suzzanne Douglas, and she is at school right now. How are you?
I'm well. I have a 3 o'clock improv class, and just sent in to one of my voice teachers a confracture, which is where you take an existing tune, and in this case it was the tune "All the Things You Are," and you write a new melody over that.
Wow.
Something that's it's been traditionally done in the world of jazz for a gazillion years.
So, I mean, you've accomplished so much, and yet you're still pursuing higher education. You're at the Manhattan School of Music. I mean, you're a graduate of Illinois State University. You're a Redbird.
Yes, just go Redbirds.
Yes, and you've acted. Of course, remember you was Jerry Peterson in The Parenthood.
Yes.
You were in How Stella Got Her Groove Back, where you played Angela. You were in Jason's Lyric. You were in The Inkwell, School of Rock. Tap was a great movie.
Thank you.
You won an NAACP Image Award for that, and you've done television, The Good Wife, you know, The Cosby Show, The Parkers. I said about The Parenthood. You sang with Stanley Turrentine, Nate Adderley, T.S. Monk. I mean, you've done everything, and yet you're still pursuing, right? You're still pursuing higher education. What drives you?
You know, Tony, I'm a life learner, and there's so much more that I need to learn about my artistry and about myself. I think that when you learn anything, you not just learn what it is you're seeking more knowledge about, but you also learn about yourself. And I've grown tremendously in this program. I'm pursuing a master's in jazz vocals here at Manhattan School of Music. And I wanted to understand how to best speak as a leader to the musicians that I perform with as a leader. I wanted to write my own music and understand it's not just about standing up in front of an audience and singing, while that's very important, but having an understanding of what it is I'm actually singing, if it's a flat 9 or a natural 9, or what key we're in and where we're modulating to. All of that's very important. There's a whole language to music that I wanted to bring out.
But you know, you don't have to know that to be a great singer. I mean, Ron Isley couldn't read music to save his life. He's always said that, but he's had a phenomenal career. But your interest is just the challenge of learning your craft.
Absolutely. I found myself as a singer because I've been singing for many years, although I'm not well known as a singer as of yet. People know me more from my acting. But I was singing the same licks over and over again, and there was a need to really take my voice and the methods, learn new methods to bring out my styling as a jazz artist. And I needed to go to the big guns to get that done.
So you just performed this past summer, I believe, Martha's Vineyard Summer Madness Festival?
Yeah.
Is it more intimidating to perform? I mean, you've done theater too. Is it more intimidating as a singer though? Because you know,
absolutely,
you're just out there.
Exactly, Tony. You hit it right on the head. It's much more intimidating because you're more vulnerable. It's just you. There's no character to hide behind. There are no costumes, no lights. It's just you sharing the songs and telling the stories within the songs so that they have a universal appeal and touch people where they need to be touched.
Man, I mean, you've done so much, and your latest project is you're going to be in the Whitney Houston movie, I Will Always Love You. And it was your chance to work with Angela Bassett again because she's directing the movie. Yes,
that was phenomenal. It's really wonderful. I love actors who are great directors, and I was very honored that she asked me to participate in this film with her as she launches her film directorial debut.
So you're going to play Cissy Houston?
Yes, I do. I play Cissy. Yes.
Now, had you ever met Cissy Houston?
No, never met Cissy, and she lives in New Jersey, as do I. Or at one time she did. I'm not certain if she's still there.
Yeah. So, is this the first time? I mean, I'm off the top of my head. I mean, that you've actually played somebody who's actually living?
Well, that's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that before. No, everyone that I've played who was a historical person has gone on to glory. Yep.
Okay. Well, then, obviously, because you had to think about it, then you were not intimidated by playing Cissy Houston. Then.
No, and I think that had a lot to do with it was probably good that I've never met her. in that sense, and I approached it as I do most work. You know, I get information and then make decisions based on what's in the script and how I'm directed to portray any given scene at the time.
Had you ever had the opportunity to meet Whitney?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
Do you remember where you were the night the news broke that she had passed?
I do. In fact, it was my anniversary. I was celebrating my 25th anniversary.
Wow.
And I had, it's interesting that you asked that. I was in the theater with my husband and daughter, and we were driving down to the theater. And I said to my husband, I said, something's up with Whitney. And just out of the blue, I just said, I just feel that. And that hasn't been, that was not the first time where I've had that kind of experience. And it was really weird. At intermission, my husband came, I sat in my seat. My husband came back and he looked at me very oddly. And he looked at me and he said, Whitney Houston is dead. And it was bizarre because I had said to him, I said, she's been on my mind. You know, I was saying to him as we were driving down to the theater, I said, gosh, she's been on my mind. I hope she's okay. You know, because, you know, she had been in the news recently within the past months, you know, prior to her homegoing. And, you know, my heart had been going out to her, you know, as it does with anyone who's hurt, broken.
But that's wild, though. She was on your mind. She was on your heart.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know why.
Yeah, and I had never met her. It's not like, you know, we were
connected.
And,
Man. Wow, that's crazy.
Bizarre. Yeah, it was pretty bizarre.
You know, Angela got some backlash from Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina, because she wasn't chosen to play in the movie.
I didn't know that she was an actress.
That was Angela's response. She's not an actress. And I thought the way Angela handled it was very classy. And I thought the way...
That's Angela.
Yeah, and the way Bobby Christina handled it was very immature. And it kind of showed that she's got a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I think we're done giving her a pass, you know, because she is an adult. And as an adult, you have to learn that, you know, even though you go through trials and tribulations, you do have to keep it moving. So
yes.
Yeah. So if you had to choose one thing, though, what would it be? Would it be acting? Would it be singing? Would it be producing? If you could only pick one, what do you think you would go with?
If I could only pick one?
Yeah.
I would pick singing.
Singing?
Mm-hmm. Because there's acting within singing, but there's a musicality to dialogue, particularly if you're looking at literature like Shakespeare or Molière, where there's this underlying meter, although there's still meter under any script that you're reading. There's a meter to how a character speaks. But I don't know if I would... If I had to choose, I think I would definitely go with singing. Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to ask actors, actresses, how do you remember all these lines? How do you do that? I mean, is it a short-term memory muscle or something? I don't know. Because I can't remember how to get out of my office sometimes. And how do you remember I mean, not only do you have to deliver the lines, there has to be emotion in your mind. You know, how do you do that?
Okay, Tony, I'm going to tell you the secret. You can't tell anyone else, though.
Okay, all right.
Hard work. You know, there are a couple of techniques, actually, to memorization. There's a technique where you can look at a line and say it word by word from the back of the line. There's a aesthetic way of memorizing lines where you're moving around and touching certain objects. There are all kinds of techniques to memorization, and sometimes the meter. If you're looking at Shakespeare in particular, because there's so much meter to it, and there's rhyme. Once again, it depends on the text. That helps in memorization as well.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I've always wondered that because you guys deliver the lines, but you deliver it with so much passion and emotion and.
Well, that comes later. Well, at least I don't, and I was taught not to do this. You don't put a value or an emotion or make a choice about a line as you're memorizing. That's the work that you do in the room with the actor. That's where the creative part comes. When you're on the set, when you're in the rehearsal room, that's where, you don't want to get locked into saying it one way because you've memorized it that way, because that's not organic. That's not finding the truth of what's actually happening between you and the other character. That's just memorization. And no, that's boring to watch that on the stage.
I heard that. So for Suzzanne Douglas, what is your guilty pleasure? When you got downtime, what is your guilty pleasure? Is there a favorite TV show that you like to catch up on?
No, I don't sit and watch television when I have my guilty pleasures. No, golf, tennis, skiing. Those are my guilty pleasures. With friends, doing those activities, or dining, having dinner parties. Those are the types of things that I do. So because it's social, you're engaged in sharing your time with those you care about. Those are my guilty pleasures.
So your thoughts on like reality TV?
Oh, you don't really want to know that.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of.
I have to say, I'm one of those persons. I never saw, Back to Whitney. I didn't see that show. I couldn't watch that show because it was showing someone who I thought was an amazing talent at her worst.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to give advertisers dollars to see someone at their worst. In fact, I can honestly say to you, I have never seen a reality show.
Good for you. I haven't either.
Seen that.
I haven't. I mean, I've seen clips because they come on like Entertainment Tonight and stuff like. But I've never. And to me, when Whitney was doing it with Bobby Brown, to me it was exploitation of two wounded people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see someone at their worst. I don't want to see them when they're hurting. I don't want to see a lie about who I believe them to truly be at their hearts. I watch a cooking show, but a reality show, no.
Yeah.
All these housewives of this and that. That's not television to me.
Yeah, it's trash.
That's sensationalism.
Yeah.
We have the Romans to thank for that.
Right. Well, I guess so. So what are you working on right now as far as projects? So what are we're going to see you in the Whitney Houston movie, but what else are we going to see you in or hear you on?
Well, it's got some club dates in and around New York City. I have a standing gig starting in December on Wednesday nights at a new jazz club in Newark called Duke's Place, and I hope folks, when they're either coming through town, will stop by there, and those who are in the New York tri-state area, come on out. And my trio will be there on Wednesday nights performing 2 sets, no cover, 2 drink minimum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you play an instrument at all, or are you just a singer?
Well, no, I'm a musician. I'm more than a singer because I write music as well.
Okay.
So I'll be doing some of my original music in those evenings.
So is there a method to writing music, or it just depends on the individual? I mean,
yeah, there's a method. It's called hard work. It's called
those 2 words again, huh?
Yeah. Because nothing in life is free or easy. So it's understanding theory so that you can understand it in order to break it if you need to do that. Of course, there are people who have never studied theory in their lives who've written music, who just sit at a piano and pound out notes. There's truth and validity to that as well, but I really wanted to understand I wanted to go as deep as I could. That's important to me. I'm spending all this money.
Right,
I'm not on scholarship. So my mama's not writing a check for me.
So what kind of career do you think you would have had if it wouldn't have been entertainment?
I would have been a teacher.
A teacher?
I would have been an educator. That's something that it seems to be very easy for me to share knowledge, and have a willingness to do that, and a need actually to do that. Both of my sisters are educators in Chicago. One's a music teacher and the other a vice principal at a school. I married into a family of academics and educators, and so it just kind of follows suit that. And it's interesting. My husband wasn't on a track necessarily of education, but he's kind of changed careers and gone into education. He was, by trade, he's an MD, but his favorite part of medicine was teaching his residents. And so he is now an adjunct professor at a small private college in New Jersey, teaching science.
Does he find it more fulfilling?
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. He loves it.
Wow. Does your daughter have a career in mind?
Yes, she is. Has the acting bug, and she's at the Tisch School in her second year. She's quite wonderful.
So what's your advice to her, since that's, you know, your business? What advice have you given her?
You know, it's interesting. I have a lot of Facebook fans who hit me online, and they talk about their kids, and, you know, from age, like, you know, 8 months, which I think is ludicrous to say your kid is perfect for the media just because your kid is cute. Mm-hmm. People don't understand that it's a profession. It's called show business. There's a business aspect of it, and your life is really uprooted. And if that's something that you have that kind of time and are willing to invest your monies and your time into that, then that's fine. But I think children should be allowed to be children as long as they can. I never put our daughter in, which is fascinating, that she found her way to this, and I think this is to my point. I think children will find their way to what it is that sings to their heart, right? So we never did any of the theater camps or anything until after she graduated from high school, and she said, you know, I think I want to do Carnegie Mellon's theater program, and I think that solidified it for her. And she went into it. Advice, I don't give her any advice at this point. I want her to live her life. I want her to have this rich, full life that's interesting and diverse, and from which she can draw from and create from, that has nothing absolutely to do with theater, but has to do with life, because you're not portraying actors, you're portraying people. So you don't want to have your life surrounded or filled up with things that are theatrical. You want a well-rounded life so that your work is interesting and layered.
How awesome would it be for you to do a project with her?
Oh, that would really be awesome. I would love that, actually. I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be, you know, I think people would love to be able to do that. Like Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr., you know, they've actually played on the same baseball team together, actually hit a home run in the same game. So that I think that was pretty
that's
awesome.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
That was pretty awesome. So, well, I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy, and you're at school now on your way to class, and I just thank you so much for your time. It's been
Tony,
very
you
awesome.
are so very, very welcome. You're so very welcome.
That. And my best to you and your family, and we look forward to seeing and hearing you down the road.
Oh, Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzzanne Douglas. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.